All right, we are streaming. We're live on YouTube. I'm going to check that first. Wow. Just got to get all this stuff going for the 8:30 podcast. Starting a little bit early. It told me that we are live on YouTube, so I'm going to take that for granted. But what I want to do is go over here. Look at my live feed. Live. I am live. Stagg Vrs Stagg Jr. We got the... Let's call that up. I'm going to take that for granted, but what I want to do. Live chat experience. Choose who can participate. Set a delay between... messages. Okay. Close, and now we're at live chat. I am going to, I believe I can share this. That's what I'm going to try and do. Share top chat, live chat. Some messages such as potential spam may not be visible. Live chat. I'm going live chat. Yep, we're chatting publicly. As the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, welcome to live chat. I wanted to share it on other, I guess, let's see, live. All right. I wonder, well, doesn't look like I can do that. Normally you can, but as far as sharing, let's see, tools, I'll give out tools, port, you got that going, nope, is it gonna let, no, that does the clip, that's full screen live. Oh, let's see if I can share from here, save to playlist, watch later, download video, share, there we go. Share this live to Twitter. Cool. Tweet. So we're live on Twitter. And then let's also let's go back to YouTube. Let's share this. I wonder if I can get it anywhere else. We got Facebook, Messenger, email. Is there any more? I was just trying to see. Instagram. Let's see if I can hit it on Instagram. Yeah, Gary Schneider. Let's just I'm just trying to share it on okay, share. And we're sharing the link on Instagram. That happened. Alright, so let's go back to what I have to do on not shorts, videos, home. Gotta get rid of that. Skip ad. Alright. Here we go. Pause. All right, so we're live on a couple things. I'm going to go live on Facebook now from YouTube. We're going to Facebook Live this on a different thing. We are going live in 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody, welcome to Facebook Live. So we'll get that going now. I think we are live on Facebook. I got to go check that out. This is a lot of fun. But when I go live on Facebook, I'm going to, let's just check it out. Chris Brown. Welcome, everybody, on Facebook tonight. We have Stagg Vrs Stagg Jr. We're going to get ready to go in about 5 minutes, but right now I am going to share to all my Facebook groups because we are live. Yep, there it is. Oh, nope, that's not it. I gotta make sure on Facebook we are live. It doesn't, are we? Are we? Yes, we are. There we are. All right. So we will share to the groups. Stagg versus Stagg versus Stagg Jr. All right, here we go. Share. All right, holding on while I share to all the groups. Takes a little bit of time, but looks like most of my groups now, yeah, they look like they're just one big organized family here for this share tonight. So just hang with me so I could get the actual podcast, pre-podcast going. But we got a lot of people. Just remember, if once I'll go over it. For commenting, there's a bourbon tasting, so whiskey, bourbon, bar stools, bourbon lovers. Yeah, we are on fire here. Yeah. It's pretty good. Just sharing to the groups, everybody. It's supposed to start around 8:30. We'll probably start right around there, or maybe a little bit early, but I am sharing right now to all the whiskey groups so that tonight you can see my podcast of comparing Stagg versus Stagg Jr. And we'll go over exactly what batches I have, talk about batches, and we'll go from there. I can save it on a couple ones. Let's see. I know I could save it on the Buffalo Trace ones. My bourbon club. There we go. Buffalo Trace Distillery. Here we go again. Buffalo Trace gift shop. No. Alright, they kicked me off that gift shop one. But just hang with us. We are just sharing to all the bourbon groups. And I'm in quite a few of them. And so, just hang in there. This one, yep. Yeah, whiskey wise. I've been doing pretty good. As far as now being in the groups that accept us as a legitimate, serious bourbon podcast, which is really kind of cool because it took a while to get this far, and now that we are, it's kind of fun. Yep, I love to save my lives to my high school group. And we're almost there. Yep, we're there. We've saved to all the groups. Now I'm going to share to send in Messenger. I just got some people I like to always let them know who that we're on. I like to send it to a couple people just to let them know that we're on tonight, just directly. I know that there's a couple. Oh, there we go. Some of the people. There's a lot of people out there. Yep, there's one. Let's do Greg Schneider. Let's just go right. There we go. Those are the people I like to let know. All right, so we're done sharing for now. All right, so that lets us get to where we need to get to. Welcome, everybody. We're the Scotchy. What the heck happened to my camera? Are you serious? That is, wow. That must have been when I started it. Much better. Let's see what we got. Let's see if I could see that. I'm going to monitor the comments tonight. So if you have any comments, feel free. I'm doing the live chat. I'm going to monitor that throughout the podcast. Welcome, everybody. Tonight, one of the cool things that we got going tonight before we actually start our podcast, I'd like to say hello to everybody watching on YouTube and on Facebook Live. Tonight, we are going to be comparing Stagg Batch 16 right here to, this is Stagg Jr. Batch 16 to Stagg. So that's really kind of a cool thing. I picked up this bottle of Stagg last weekend. Had to, as a podcaster, you like to get some bourbons. One of the things I like to do is stand in line. Why I like to stand in line is because everybody who's standing in line is serious about bourbon. And the Scotchy Bourbon Boys are pretty serious about bourbon. So I like to hand out cards while I go stand in the lines at different liquor stores. Now, locally, I've gotten to know a lot of people in the lines consistently. The people who show up early are pretty much the same ones, consistently. We've kind of gotten to be a little close group. Now, I don't do it every weekend, but if there's something like Stagg or there's some form of Colonel E.H. Taylor, or there's different high-end releases. I have been known to, like on Single Barrel Saturday here in Ohio, where they released a Weller Full Proof plus a bunch of single barrels across the state. I spent the night in my truck being first in line for that Single Barrel Saturday. That was fun. I wanted to do it but I also wanted to know what the landscape was for a really good release. So spending the night there, I kind of judged what time everybody that was serious about getting that bourbon, that Weller Full Proof and all those single barrels, what times they showed up. So I was able to figure out what times they showed up. And then for this release, I was able to show up about the right time in order to be there. I knew that there was one case of this Stagg, based off of everything that I had been hearing throughout the week. And so I got in line about 3 o'clock. I was fifth, and the actual liquor store allows you into the grocery store at 7, Giant Eagle, and then we wait in line for another 2 hours when the store opens at 9. Everybody gets what they get. They had a lot of different stuff. They had some, pretty much everybody that was in line got something. There was Weller Antique 107. There was a good amount of that. There was Weller Special Reserve in the 175 milliliters. And then there also was McKenna 10-year along with the Stagg. And then they had Ancient 10 along with Ancient Age, which was unique because I've never seen that. That was always a bottom shelf bourbon, but now it is kind of funny, but it's an allocated release coming from Buffalo Trace, because Buffalo Trace, everything is allocated these days because, in my honest opinion, Buffalo Trace's marketing has created a stir that has nothing to do with their bourbon. I mean, it is all about wanting something that is perceived you can't have. And as a human race, that's kind of how we all are. I'm noticing tonight not getting a lot of people. So Andrew Malatesta is watching. Hey, Andrew. Just as you go, everybody know that I am monitoring the comments. If you want to monitor the comments for the live, if you want to actually make a comment while you're doing this, my Jeffrey Mueller Facebook page If you're a friend, if you could find it, just go to Jeffrey Mueller Facebook page. I'm in Canton, Ohio. You can also type in Bourbon with that, and my name usually comes up on Facebook. Go to that page, and you'll be able to make the comments based off of the Jeffrey Mueller page. I like to monitor who's coming in, who's not, who's watching. But if you come in on that Jeffrey Mueller page, I can see who you are and see your comments. Now, if you're on other pages and or YouTube, don't always see the comments till afterwards, but I will respond based off that. So tonight, really kind of an excellent podcast. The way the podcast works, one of the things that I mention right now to everybody out there watching on this Facebook Live and on the YouTube Live is our sponsors. Now, Alan Bishop, the master distiller at the Spirit of French Lick, he has 2 forms of sponsorship or actually 3 forms, because he is attached to the Spirit of French Lick. But then he also has a podcast that everybody should check out. It's If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. It's on all major podcast formats. Excellent podcast. I love listening. He covers all different all the different type things: aliens, ghosts, conspiracies, everything. He's got it covered on If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. And then also, he also has one piece at a time Distilling Institute, where he basically goes over the nerdy part of distilling, answering questions for everybody. But check that out, the One Piece at a Time Distilling Institute on YouTube. Absolutely go check it out. See it. Go there. He just covers everything. If you love distilling, you're going to love what Master Distiller from the Spirit of French Lick is always going over. I mean, he gets into yeast strains and everything like that. And then also the Spirit of French Lick down in French Lick, Indiana. That is a fantastic distillery. Make sure that you find out about everything. Visit www.thespiritofrenchlick.com, www.spiritsoffrenchlick.com for everything there. They have all their different bourbons. Check it out. The Spirit of French Lick has been critically acclaimed by Fred Minnick and Steve Coombs. Fantastic bourbon and whiskeys that they produce there, plus the Clifty Apple Brandy, the Solomon Scott Rye. I mean, they are doing everything. They produce absinthe, so check that out on at the Spirit of French Lick. Then also Log Still Distillery. Wally, Lynn, and Charlie Dant down there are doing some amazing things at Dant Crossing. The Log Still Distillery just opened up their main distillery this summer. Go down there, check it out. They have everything going down in an amphitheater, dinner train rides. They've got an event center. You want to check out the the Log Still Distillery. We were just down there with Charlie, and he showed us around so we could get new material for the podcast, and we're working on that right now. That'll be coming up, but what they're doing there is amazing. So www.logstilldistillery.com. Check that out. That you can stay down there. They have an event center. They've got their amphitheater. They got the tasting room. They've got the distillery open. Just a lot of stuff happening. All right, so we're about to get ready to start this podcast. There'll be a 30-second ad that I run after I hit start recording here, and then you'll hear our theme song, and we'll get on with the podcast.
sure fun to watch. We love what we do, we're drinking every brew. Man, we talk some shit, but we're telling the truth. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon boys, raising hell and making some noise. Yeah, we're the Scotchy Bourbon boys. We're here to have fun and we hope you enjoy. We're here to have fun.
All right, there we go. Welcome to another exciting podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. I'm Tiny. I am here tonight by myself, getting ready for next week, which we'll go into. But there we go. Technical, yeah, there we go. Always, I should have known to turn that down. But www.scotchybourbonboys.com for everything Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Check it out. You can pick up Glencairns and t-shirts, all the stuff about us. All of us, we're 5 strong podcasters. Got some new people that just came into this arena. We got Whiskey. He's going to be doing some 10-minute tastings with me in a podcast coming up with Molly Brown Spirits in a little bit. And then also we've got CT. CT is in the middle of his basketball season, but he will be joining us for more podcasts. He's just did a Hainer with us couple weeks ago. So, you know, the new people that we brought onto the podcast for 2023, it's going to be pretty exciting. Plus myself and Super Nash, along with Roxy, still here. Roxy and I are going to be doing on, I believe, February 5th, which is a Sunday. We're going to be doing a bourbon pancake, bourbon syrup pancake podcast with, it'll be a surprise. I'll be announcing that sooner than later. So it's going to be an excellent podcast on a Sunday morning, eating some pancakes with bourbon syrup. Then that brings us to everything. The Scotchy Bourbon Boys are on all the major podcast formats. Please, where you listen, just take the time to give us some stars, give us some feedback, some good feedback. It all helps. And subscribe, because subscribing is everything. We really appreciate it. If you subscribe, you get the podcast updated all the time to you. You don't miss one single exciting episode. And then also, smoked maple. Yeah, Shane Thompson mentioned, and we are on Facebook Live and YouTube from time to time. I will be tonight mentioning comments of what people are saying. And Shane said Knob Creek maple for bourbon pancakes. Yeah, that's a possibility, but there's so many bourbon barrel infused syrups out there. They take a used bourbon barrel, put the syrup in. We have a lot of different ones. That podcast will come up, and then specific people coming on. And then also, remember, we're on all the major social media formats, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. There's one more. Why am I having problems? It doesn't. YouTube. Yeah. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, the main ones. TikTok and Twitter. There you go. Twitter. So I've been doing this long enough that they think I'd have that one down. Usually I do, but tonight I'm trying a little bit of something different here. I've got a little bit of different lighting. It's a little orange and it's brighter, and we've got the couple new things back in the background. Let's see if I can get out of my own way. Let's see. Can I? I'm dunking down. There's the Tiny's Bourbon tasting room that's up there. Then I've also got the on air right there, on air. So that's kind of a cool thing. And then also behind me, I don't think you could see it. I'm a big guy, but I was able to get my Blanton's stave with the 8 stages of the Kentucky Derby. That's right behind there in the studio. From time to time, you'll see it if we're doing 2, but right now I'm front and center and I'm kind of blocking that. But just remember, we're a Facebook group. We are a podcast, the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, and that Facebook group is over 1,000. We've just had our 1,000th member. And when we had our 1,000th member, we straight up, they got a sample of all of everything that our that our sponsors. There was a Spirit of French Lick. There was, I believe it was the Rattle and Snap, or it actually was the Monk's Road. They got I bought a Rattle and Snap and sent it down to Super Nash, and he ended up switching it out for a Monk's Road 5th District and keeping the Rattle and Snap by himself. So that was kind of cool. Shout out to our sponsors, Log Still, Spirit of French Lick, and Alan Bishop. If you have ghosts, you have everything, or one piece at a time Distilling Institute. Anyways, so here we are tonight. I'm excited. So one of the things that Buffalo Trace does well is marketing. And I've heard a lot of things about what I read a lot. So Stagg Jr. They're in, let's see, Stagg Jr. I picked up batch 16 in the spring of 2021. Then batch 17 came out in the winter of 2021. Now, batch 18, which I'm not sure if this is batch 18 or if this is batch 1. They took the junior off. Now, initially, there was nothing for here in Ohio all of 2022. We did not get a release of Stagg in 2022. But in June of 2022, a couple states got the release of this batch 18 or batch 1. I don't know what they're going to do, what we're going to call it, how it's going to work. It's not up to me to make that call, but batch 1, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with batch 1 because this is Stagg. There's no junior on there. And let me just show you on this. Here is the label, and you could see. Let's get it right. This is a cool bottle. So there you go. There it is. Stagg, Kentucky Straight, no junior. Flip that baby around. Let's go right up here. There it is again. Stagg. This one's 131 proof, 65.5 ABV. And then you've got batch 16, which is one of my favorite batches of Stagg. I had the 2019 also, which would have been batch, I believe, 13. I got 13, 16, and now 1 for when I've had Stagg. And now you can see there's that junior. I'm going to try. What the heck? There it is. I'm going to get it past. Now you can see. There's the junior. And then same thing on here. Get that baby up there. You got your junior right there. This is 130.9 proof, which is 65.45. So they're very close in proof. This is 130 point. Let's see, what was that? 0.9, and the other one's 131. I mean, how close can you get? Now, what I want to do, and I'm going to open this one right now. Now, what's really kind of cool is figuring out how to open it. Now, I've put up a couple shorts. Let's see. I'm looking for the little tab. No? You gotta find it. That's funny. I should have opened this before we started this. There it is. Is it there? Wow. Now that is something. Whatever, Carl. I'm not answering you in a live. All right, all right, we'll just shoot for this. Seriously?
What's up, Big Sexy?
What do you mean? I'm in the middle of a live.
Are you really?
Yeah, how do you not know this? I sent you the thing.
Oh, I don't know.
Facebook is I'm having a problem opening this Stagg though.
Are you really?
Yeah, it's just like there's no
Does it have a child-proof label on top?
I have no idea how to open it. It's so funny. I think I need a wine. One of those wine.
Did you answer your phone in the middle of a live?
Yeah, I sure as hell did. It's you, Whiskey.
Nice.
You're on.
Everybody.
You can go.
What the hell?
Did you have anything else to say besides just... All right, I got it open. I don't... That is weird.
You have met your enemy.
I think... You know what's really stupid is I think I already opened it, so it wasn't a fresh crack, and I was trying to open it like it was new. Yeah, there you go. That's me.
Did you open the wrong bottle?
No, it's open. It is open now. I got to go back to my... I was monitoring Facebook. It kind of got a little bit... you know, you could just... you could watch and talk at the same time. But anyways... I'm going to get back to comparing Stagg versus Stagg Jr. But everybody, just say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, you'll be getting more whiskey in the future coming up soon. Also, just real quick, you know how many times I updated my calendar and how many times I tried to share it to you and I wasn't able to? That was awesome.
Technology is not your friend.
No, it is my friend, but not when it comes to calendars, obviously. All right. Talk to you later.
Yep.
All right, bye. All right, so anyways, Whiskey checked in for a couple seconds. I've got this Stagg opened. I just showed you the difference between the... Now, I've been reading a couple things about Stagg and Stagg Jr. All right, so people are saying Stagg, they removed the Junior because now that when it first came out, it was a teenager, they're saying, and now it's a man, and that somehow the Stagg Jr. doesn't apply to the fullness of the actual whiskey. This is a barrel strength whiskey, and it shouldn't have a junior connotation on it. Now, I think that's all bullshit right there. My opinion is based in marketing. So initially, you had George T. Stagg. You're talking about the antique collection, barrel strength, George T. Stagg, delicious, okay? But George T. Stagg is 10, 11, or 11, 12 years old, and Stagg Jr. is 7 to 9 years old, let's just say. 7 to 9, 10 to 12, okay? And so when they put this out, they wanted to put it out, and if they would have called it Stagg in the first place, George T. Stagg and Stagg, people already were calling George T. Stagg Stagg. Hey, if you just got this thing, did you get that Stagg? Because George T. Stagg is master distiller of Buffalo Trace. So calling it Stagg was not a big deal. But when this came out, if you would have named it Stagg at the time without brand recognition, in my opinion, now I could tell you the different, when this first came out, I've got it here. Let me get my info up. I got of course, it's just going to be buried down here. But I frickin' have the different batches dates. Okay. So, Stagg batch release dates since batch 12. Info on every release. Let's just go here real quick. I did believe Stagg. All right. So, proof by batch. So batch 1 releases. Batch 1 was fall of 2013. So in the fall of 2013 was the release of batch 1. Now, I was able to get batch 13 from the spring of 2019. I believe it. Let me just make sure it was 13. 132.3. So I got 12. The first that I had was the 132. I had the 12, and then I have batch 16 at 130.9, and I got batch 18. So those batches, but you're talking about every batch from 2013. It was introduced in 2013. So now we're talking about 10 years, 2023 to 2000. We are 10 years. 2013 to 2022 is 10 full years of Stagg Jr. Now, I believe they put the Junior on to avoid confusion in the marketing. So when people refer to, I'd like that Stagg, people wouldn't think they were talking about George T. Stagg. And that made people differentiate by saying Stagg Jr. or calling it George T. Stagg and then Stagg Jr. You didn't call George T. Stagg Stagg anymore. And after 10 years, they feel they have enough market recognition and name recognition that if you just call it Stagg, then it's going to be okay. So that is my opinion about why they removed the Junior. It's not because it's not a boy or it's just that they wanted to call it Stagg in the first place, but they had to call it Stagg Jr. to avoid confusion. But after 10 years, they were able to get to where they wanted to as far as releasing Stagg into the marketplace. So let's see what they did, though. Now, what's really strange is batch 16 is from spring of 2021, and then batch 17 I was able to get, but I had not finished my batch 12, and I didn't have a need for a third bottle of Stagg. So I passed on the one in 17, which batch 17 in the fall of 2021, which was probably a mistake because it took all the way till January of 2023 before I had another shot at another one at the Stagg, batch 18 or batch 1. I don't know which way they're going to go with it. I said that before, but we're looking at batch 1 of Stagg, and we've got batch 16 to put up against it. But for whatever reason, now, initially, like I said, in June of 2022, some states this was released. The bottle got on the internet. You could see it in the Facebook groups, and a couple podcasters were able to get it and do reviews. But it wasn't here in Ohio. It wasn't widely released until this past week. Now, I've had it, and I'm a little worried because my initial feelings were different. I'm wondering, I had it from another bottle. I was able to taste it before I bought it, but either my senses were off that night or whatever. But I really love this batch 16. The batch 16 that I got here, 0.1% less alcohol, drinks fantastic. And so tonight I am going to compare Stagg batch number 1, hey whiskey, thanks for watching, to Stagg Jr. batch 16. I don't have the last one, but here we go. So I'm going to do 16 first. Put that there. Once again, this is the Junior right there. You got the Junior. Now, this beautiful bottle without the Junior. So, there you go. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we could swap samples. Whiskey says he's got 17, which is kind of cool. All right. So I'm going to nose them first, and we are going to bash them. The Scotchy Bourbon Boys barrel bashing rating is a total of 18 out of 18. We have 4 categories. 2 categories are weighted more than the other after evolving our rating scale. The 2 categories that you can give a 5 to are taste and finish. Then the other 2 categories of body and nose or smell, you could give a 4 to. That's where you get the 18. Now, as far as if there is a category that is exceptional, you could give it a butt up for a total score of 19 of 18, depending on what you think of the bourbon or the scotch or the whiskey that we're trying at the time. So, I'm going to go for the nose first on Stagg Jr. from, oh my God. Tons of caramel, a little brown sugar and a little bit of burnt toffee. That first nose was just spectacular. And then a little bit of pepper and ethanol. Now, when tasting in one of these Glencairns, Martin Duffy, he is our North American Glencairn glass representative. One of the cool things about Martin is that we met up with Martin the last 2 Kentucky Bourbon Festivals, and he is a fantastic individual. He helped us along the way to get these Scotchy Bourbon Boy Glencairns and the logo on there. This comes right from the Glencairn Glass Company across the pond. And Glencairn Crystal is pretty much top of the line. These glasses are sturdy, and they are the perfect glass for tasting whiskey. One, you could put it on its side, and you can roll it through the glass. And one of the cool things is when you roll it around, pick it up, you can see that the whiskey clings to the glass. But as it starts to... this particular... Wow. There we go. You could start to see the legs run down through the Scotchy Bourbon Boy, those long drips going back into the actual bourbon. That is some fantastic, wow. That clings to the side of the glass. The viscosity of that body of that bourbon is insane at 130.9. But then, when you're smelling, you have a dominant nostril when you're nosing. And your dominant nostril can change from time to time. But tonight, my dominant nostril is the left nostril, or your right, stage right, mine. But then I'm picking up a good amount of some brown sugar, a little bit of burnt toffee, like I said, a little bit of like almost a... Wow. The nose on this is spectacular, but I'm trying to pick out... What is that smell? The smell is something I recognize, but I'm not putting... Oh, I can't put... It's a little bit of dark chocolate. So that's pretty cool. It's like a coffee. A dark chocolate with coffee. It smells spectacular. Wow. All right. I'm going to nose the other one. Let's drop this one along, and let's see what the viscosity. This should have the same clinging aspect to it. Let's see what happens. Do we kind of pick up any of the... Oh, you can see it right on the side right there. Look at how long that and those legs are. Just dripping back into... That shows it pretty damn good. Those of you on the regular podcast, you can't see that. Now, I'm going to nose this one. This one is a dark chocolate caramel. Now, what's exciting about this is I've tasted this one time, and that is not what the nose that I was getting the last time I had that from a different bottle. It's got similar... There's a lot more chocolate on this one. My senses must be really on, because that's also delicious too. All right. Taste. Here's to the batch 16. The proof on batch 16 for the spring of 2021 is 130.9. And the proof on batch 1 Stagg is 131. These two are really super close. All right, I shocked my palate. Now I got to take another sip. When you're drinking barrel strength like this is insane. These are 130 now in the mouth, but right now the hug on this is amazing. So let's try it one more time. Tons of brown sugar. It is neutral on the tongue for 130, but wow, I'm going to do a chew. That's a huge body. Wow. Wow. Sweetness on that. It's a caramel. It starts off at brown sugar, but then it's caramel and sweet. Oh my God. That is some good bourbon. That's enjoyable. Huge body. All right. So let's just do this one. I'm excited because from the nose, let's hope. Because I remember what happened. The nose was like, okay, but this nose is spectacular. Let's see. Was it a bad night? Definitely was a bad night, but all right, we'll do it again. That is a little bit more. There's a lot more oakiness on this. Huge body. If you're a foolproof person and you like the tannins of the barrel, that's going to be leather. That is a leather finish. Yep, it pulls off a leather finish. So this is a big bourbon, but not... All right, here we go. We're going to try the other one. All right, this one's an easy one. So, on the nose, which you can only give a 4, I think both bourbons get a 4. That's a real barrel pound. I've got my Wilderness Trail bung hammer. All right. So the next one would be body. That brown sugar is insane. Goes to a rich... There's no leather. It's like a burnt toffee. It goes brown sugar, burnt toffee. And the finish on this is pretty good. On the 16. On this batch 1, I just got the dark chocolate on that one to be the finish instead of leather. Wow. They're very close, but different. All right. The body on the 16 is a 4 also. But the body on number 1 is a 4 with a but up. But up. So it gets 5. So right now, for the 2 low categories, body and nose, or smell, we're sitting at 8 out of 8 and 9 out of 8. So here we go. Taste. So I like high proof bourbons. I love Stagg. I do love this Stagg. But Stagg Jr., in my opinion, picks up a brown sugar that I love, and it also goes to a almost like a little bit of cherry on the finish. So I am going to give it a 4 of 5. Now, let's go to taste on this. There's a little bit, for me, on the taste. This is where this is the weakest point of Stagg, but not necessarily all high proof bourbon drinkers. This is more wood. It actually has a charred barrel taste to it. along with a little bit of leather, no cherry, and it's a little bit bitter, but it's not bitter, but it's not sweet. It's neutral on the bitter. And I wouldn't say I don't like it, but I have to say that when it comes to taste, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. So right now, we are sitting at both of them at 12. And there is 5 more points to hand out. The Stagg, just the plain Stagg, has a but up left. The Stagg Jr. doesn't. Now, when it comes to the finish, the Stagg's is longer, but the finish is its strong point of this. And I have to give the finish on the Stagg, once it went from leather to that dark cocoa chocolate, I have to give... I got to give this finish a 4. So it finishes 16 out of 18. So the finish on the Stagg Jr. Sweeter. I don't know exactly what exactly the Stagg Jr. It's the brown sugar. It's like a burnt brown sugar finish. It goes burnt brown sugar. Yeah, I would say that. It's got a little bit of bitterness and sweetness. So it's like a burnt, like if you burn that brown sugar, that's what it, and it's a medium to long, not a long. So I'm going to give it also a 4. So I basically, through different means, have come up to rate both these a 16 out of 18. And that's a spectacular rating, above average bourbon. Now, when you buy this, it's so funny because I was reading about it from June of 2022, and the price on this was supposed to be $59.99. The actual price when I bought it this past weekend was $49.99. So the price came. So when does the price come down on something where something that used to be $59.99 now is $49.99? It's tough to tell what, I'm reading along with whiskey. So yeah, the carpets meet the drapes. I gave them both 16 out of 60. Now, what I tasted this at the Gervasi Stillhouse. Shout out to everybody in the Canton, Ohio area. Gervasi Stillhouse. Mike over there, Lefferton, is a fantastic bartender. John, Sean, everybody out there do a really good job. Steve-O, love going there on a Sunday night. Lately, we've been going there for dinner from time to time. Spectacular, really good food, and unbelievable pours. Plus, everything. If anybody knows the area and has been here, Gervasi is kind of like within 3 minutes of my house. What would you say? It's a distillery, and it's basically a bourbon Disneyland 3 minutes from my house. So it's a great place. If anybody's ever in the area, you got to check it out. But I would, the good selection of pours too. And what they've been getting lately, they've been working hard, and they've been getting some really good stuff. What's 4 man, that man thing. So I was not expecting Stagg to hold up against the Stagg Jr. Based off of memory, when I was drinking it on last Friday night and I was able to get a sip of this off that fresh pour, that fresh crack, right out of the shower. But no, the crack, he opened it, did the thing, and then gave me a pour, and really, I was unimpressed. It must have been a bad night because this is not unimpressive. It ended up with a 16 out of 16, a 16 out of 18, along with the Stagg Jr., which this brown sugar bomb was one of my, it's one of my favorite barrel proofs. I mean, if you really want to know, if you want barrel strength bourbon, there's Stagg Jr., or now Stagg, and then there's George T. Stagg, then there's Wild Turkey, and then you go to Booker's. Those are like the staples out there. Now, everybody else has been putting out barrel strengths, and they're delicious. But these have like set the standards of what Kentucky barrel strength whiskey tastes like, and it's delicious. So everybody, you know, I don't know what to say. I was not expecting this. Yeah, Rare Breed is good. Along with, if you really, Russell's 13, that's a fantastic also pour. We should have a barrel strength contest coming up where Super Nash and I and whiskey all pick what is the best barrel strength. That would be interesting. But both these, batch 16th and batch 1 Stagg and 16 Stagg Jr., they kept the ball rolling. Buffalo Trace has done a nice job, and what can I say? That was a fantastic bourbon. It's one of the things I get to do as a Scotchy bourbon boy and a podcaster, is taste a lot of good bourbon. Now, coming up on Thursday, everybody, whoever's listening right now, whatever 5 people and who do, you're going to want to get on the Jeffrey Mueller feed of the next live podcast, because Super Nash, and I'm gonna go get my really quick, is basically thrown out. I think it's let's wait, we gotta go to his text. We're going through, we're getting his text. Why the heck? Yeah, because I haven't texted him in a while. He's been pretty busy. But on Thursday, wow, that's retarded. Let's try that again. Yeah. Yeah, Martin Nash. All right, Thursday, he has 4 bourbons that are going to be visible on the Zoom podcast. It is Pappy Van Winkle 12-year-old, George T. Stagg, 116.9 proof, which tells you what version it is, Old Fitzgerald 19, and Parker Heritage Double Barrel Blend Whiskey. Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 67% aged 13 years and 33% aged 15 years. That was a double barrel blend of Parker Heritage, those 4. So, people who are commenting which one to open, we will pick one of these based off of comments that we will open. Then, from everybody who comments on the podcast, this Thursday, 8:30 it starts. You can start You can start commenting at 8:30 when we get going. We'll have Super Natch here via Zoom, and when we get going, you start commenting. Your name is going to be entered into the randomizer, and Super Nash will pick one of the 4 from the comments, and then he will pick one of the commenters on a randomizer to see who will get a sample of the bottle we open. Super Nash will then sample one for me, one for the person who we pick, and you will be on an upcoming podcast tasting one of these 4 fantastic bourbons. This is Super Nash's stash. Who gets some of Super Nash's stash? There are 4 fantastic rare bourbons. You're talking about Pappy Van Winkle 12. You're talking about George T. Stagg. You're talking about Old Fitzgerald 19 from Heaven Hill, 19 years old. And then also Parker Heritage Double Barreled 13 and 15-year-old bourbon. So from Heaven Hill also. So you got 2 Buffalo Trace and 2 Heaven Hills. Which one's it going to be, and who's going to this Thursday, January 26th, 2023, who is going to pick, and also then who is going to get a sample of this to be on a future podcast. All right, everybody, that's another exciting podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. Remember, we're on all the podcast formats. Let's see if I could do it all in one. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. There you go. Got all 5. And then also, if you're listening on your podcast format, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Deezer, Twitch, just make sure, Apple Podcasts, that you go and you give us a rating, a high rating, please, and then leave a comment and subscribe. Those are all important things, especially if you listen on Apple Podcasts, because right now on Apple Podcasts, I'd like to get our rating up because we've got a few ratings, but there's a couple people. One, we're not the most technical people in the world, so it bothers some people, so we get a couple bad ratings and feedback. So please, if you could go to Apple Podcasts, give us a good feedback, give us a good 5-star rating because you like what you hear. That would be greatly appreciated. So remember, everybody, remember Thursday, it is going to be the day that you get a chance to, let's see, you get a chance to pick what we're going to open, what Super Nash opens, and then also one of the lucky commenters will be able to get a sample of whatever we open and be on a future podcast with myself, Super Nash, and them doing a tasting of that bourbon. So it's exciting. I'm looking forward to that. And, remember, everybody, good bourbon equals good times and good friends, and go out there and live your life dangerously. Oh, gotta turn that. There we go. Little Steve will take us out.
Oh, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die.
All right, we got that in the books. Another podcast. I'm going to quick do my thing. We are still live on YouTube and Facebook. Let me just get this. Have never ever screwed one up with this format, so I'm glad. All right, 5 published to uploading. Yay! Let's do it. Stagg. All right. Saving building. I did everything I needed to do there. Let's go back to, I can take these off now. Facebook. All right. What do we got left? There we go.
Podcast.
Right now, it looks like lost everybody. Let's see. I'll go back to now playing. All right. Let's see. Yep, it looks like everybody is gone. Nobody is listening on Facebook. And then, no problem. Once this episode, just remember, everybody, it was great to have you here tonight on YouTube and Facebook. I'm going to stop streaming on YouTube. Here we go. Remember, good bourbon equals good time and good friends, everybody. Thank you for listening on YouTube.